Hello, hi everyone. In our design of machine members 1 subject, we have a separated topic, that is design of keys and couplings in the unit number 5. Now I am going to give you a small lecture on the same concept, that is the design of keys and couplings. Design of keys and couplings. So this is the unit number 5 in the design of machine members 1. Now see that here we have two kind of things. One is keys and another one is couplings. Okay, so this key is the very important element that is used in couplings. So that here we will see that about the keys first, after that we will see that the couplings. Okay, so in case of keys, the important topics to be covered here are what is key, and what is the function of key, what is the main function of the key, and different types of keys. The different types of keys are there, and the next one is the design of key. So these are the content to be covered in this lecture. So let's get started. What is the key first? What is the key? What is the key? Key is a small piece of element, which will be used in the couplings. Okay, so in order to join the two shafts to transmit the power from one shaft to the another shaft. Okay, so the key is graphically represented like this. This is a key. Here this key has a rectangular cross section, and sometimes the other keys also used, which are having that the cross section areas of square section and circular section also. Okay, so here I will show that how that kind of square cross section keys will be. See this is the key which is having that square cross section, and also this one also another key, but it has that circular in cross section. Okay, so these are the various general kind of keys based upon the cross section area. Okay, so now I will show you that with the help of diagram what is the main function of the key. Okay, what is the main function of the key? The main function of the key is it enables that joint between the two shafts to transmit the power from one shaft to the another shaft. So for the example here, I will take that one solid shaft like this, one solid shaft, and here I will take another hollow shaft. Okay, so here our main intention is that to make a joint between these two shafts to transmit the power from one shaft to the another shaft. For example, if I give the input power to the solid shaft, that power to be transmitted to this hollow shaft. Okay, so when I give the input here, I have to collect the output here. Okay, so when it is possible, when we make the joint between these two shafts. Okay, so the joint between these two shafts may be using the different kind of joining methods, as we have already seen in the previous lectures, by using the welding process, and by keeping the quarter, and we have another kind of joint that is knuckle joint. Okay, and we will make some hole commonly for this both the shafts, and we can keep the screw fastening also. Screw fastening means nut and bolt also. But here in this case of this design of keys, here we have to keep the key here. Okay, with the help of key only we have to make the joint between the two shafts, and finally we have to transmit the power from this input shaft to the output shaft, right? So in order to transmit this power from this one to this one, here we have to do some modifications here. That is, see, on the top of this solid shaft we have to make a small rectangular slot. Okay, so by removing some excess material here, we will make such kind of rectangular slot here. Okay, and here at the internal surface of this halo tube, we have to make the same kind of a slot here, which is in the rectangular in nature. This is the slot we made with the same size of this rectangular slot. Okay, these two slots will be having the same size of this key. Why? Because here we have a key, right? So the half of the portion will be this top side of half of the portion will be inserted into the hub. This is called hub. So I will show here. This is the hub. This is called hub or boss. This entire halo tube or halo shaft is called hub or boss, and this one is the solid shaft. Okay, this is a top portion. This top portion of this key is, this top portion is, half of this top portion of the key is inserted into this rectangular slot, which was already made in the internally of the this halo tube, and the remaining, the bottom surface of this one is inserted into this rectangular slot. Okay, so that there may be a joint will be made. Okay, so due to that making of a joint, we can transmit the power from this shaft to this shaft. Okay, so it will enable that the joint between this solid shaft to the halo shaft. Okay, so here whatever the dimensions here we have for this key, the same kind of size also here we have to use to make this rectangular slot, and here also the same dimension should be followed to make the rectangular slot internally of this halo tube. Okay, so this is a way we can assemble these two parts with the help of the key. Okay, so I hope that you understood this assembly of these two shafts with the help of key. Okay, so this is the main function of this key, right? Coming to that another very important thing, that is, as I have already told you that this is a key. This is the key, and the dimensions of this key are, this is the width of the key. Okay, and this one is thickness of the key, and this is called length of the key. This is called length of the key. Okay, so here in this case of keys, there may be a taper at the top surface only. Taper will be provided at the top surface only. Taper will be provided at the top surface only. That too, that taper is 1:100. Okay, so this is the ratio for the taper to be provided on the surface of the key only, at the top surface only. Here it having that a taper. Okay, and the next one is, types of keys. So these keys are classified into the various groups. Here I will show you that the first one is sunk key, then second one is saddle key, and third one is tangent key, and the fourth one is round key, and the last one is splines. So these are the various classification of keys. Again, in the case of a sunk key, we have various types of keys. The first one is rectangular key, and the second one is square key, and next third one is parallel key, and the fourth one is feather key, and next fifth one is woodruff key, and then last one is gib head key. And in case of saddle key also we have two types of keys. The first one is flat saddle key, and the second one is hollow saddle key. So these are the various classification of keys we have. Now here I will show you that individually, the clear explanation with the neat sketch. So the first one is sunk keys. In the sunk keys, again we have various types. In that one, first one is rectangular key. Okay, so as the name indicates that here rectangular. So the cross section of the key will be in the rectangular in nature. Okay, so here I will show you that the clear diagram. This is the solid shaft. Here it has a key. Here this one is hub or boss. Okay, so here I will show that the side view, I mean cross sectional view. So in the side view we can see this key in the form of a rectangular in nature. So the dimensions of this rectangular key is this is equal to width and this height is thickness. Okay, so here the meaning of this rectangular key is the cross section will be in the rectangular in nature. The dimensions of this width and thickness are for this rectangular key are, the first one is width W is equal to D by 4 and the thickness thickness small t equal to 2/3 of width. These are the constant proportions to find out the width and thickness of the key. Okay, so here in this case of thickness, when we substitute this w here, 2/3, we know that the w equal to d by 4, so that here let us write this d by 4 here, so that here this will be d by 6. Okay, so in the form of diameter, the thickness is d by 6 and this width is d by 4. Okay, so these are the dimensions for the rectangular key. Okay, and the next one is square key. Next one is square key. So in case of a square key, the diagram also will be the same, but here this section is in the form of square in section. Okay, so see that previously we have that the different dimensions for this width and thickness in the case of a rectangle key, but here in case of a square key, this is the width and this one is the thickness. Okay, so where w equal to t. Why? Because here we have a square key. Okay, the only difference is the cross section is in the form of square in section, right? So that here we can equate that w equal to t, small t. Okay, so this is about square key. Then coming to the next type of key is parallel key. Okay, so in this case of parallel key also the shape will be the same, but here instead of taper there will be no taper here, and this key is inserted along the axis of the shaft, I mean parallel to the axis of the shaft, and the dimensions will be the same as that of rectangular key. What are the dimensions having this rectangular key? That width equal to d by 4 and thickness equal to d by 6. Okay, the same proportions will be followed for the finding out the width of the key and the thickness of the key also. Okay, then next another kind of key is the next one is feather key. In this case of feather key, as we have seen that in the previous case of a keys we have a ordinary shape of a key, but here in this case of a feather key we will additionally add some geometry for the key to hold the entire joint tightly, and it will provides the good strength, okay, for the entire joint. Now see that here I will show that the different feather keys here. So these are the various shafts. Here we will make some changes in the geometry. See, you please observe that the various keys that are providing for this joints and geometry. So here this one is a solid shaft and this hatching portion is hub or boss, and this middle portion of this red colored part is key, right? See, in the first case that here I will show that clearly with the 3D diagram. The key is like this. Additionally, this key has two holes here. Here the counter sunk holes are made for this key to keep the screw here to make a joint permanently with this shaft. Okay, sometimes this key may slip from this joint, so that in order to avoid such kind of slip from this entire joint, here we will make two holes on the key and we can insert the screws. Okay, so that by fixing this key tightly with this joint, it will provide that high strength. Okay, and it can be used for transmitting the power in axial manner and also tangentially. Okay. And then in the case of second one, see that this key has that two heads provided at the both the ends. Here I will show you that the two heads are provided for the second kind of key, right? So these are the two heads provided at the both the ends of the key. Okay, it will hold the completely this material of the hub or boss. Okay, so that it enables that holding the entire joint. Okay, and in the third case, here it has a key like that, and here there is a some small cylindrical portion is made at the center. Okay, so this portion will be inserted into the hub. Okay, so previously a small hole is provided internally of the hub. Okay, so these are the various kind of geometrical shapes we have made for the providing that high strength for the entire joint. Okay, so the difference here is only the geometrical shapes of this keys only. Okay. And next one is Woodruff key. Woodruff key. So the main function of this Woodruff key is it will enable that to connect the taper shafts also. So whenever there is a requirement of connecting the two taper shafts in order to transmit the power, in such case we will use this Woodruff key. So now here see that here we have a shaft like this. You can observe that here the key is in the form of semicircular in nature. This is the hub or boss. When we have a taper kind of a shaft, in this case only we will use this Woodruff key. See that the shape of this Woodruff key is, it is in the form of a semicircular in nature. It is like this. And the next key is Gibb head key. Next one is Gibb head key. Next one is Gibb head key. So it is also similar to that rectangular key, but here additionally we will provide one head at one end. See in this diagram, this is the solid shaft, and the key is this is the key. This one is a hub or boss. So the main difference between this rectangular key and this Gibb head key is this Gibb head key is it is having one separate head at one end only. It will be like this. This one is a solid shaft. Okay, now see that here I will show you that the dimensions for this Gibb head. This distance is 1.5 times of thickness, and this side width is this width equal to small w, and here we have a inclined surface. Here we have an inclined surface. This inclined surface is having an angle of 45 degrees, and this entire height of this one is 1.75 times of the thickness. Okay, and this thickness equal to small t, and here there will be a taper that is 1 in 100. Okay, so these are the dimensions for the Gibb head key. Okay, it will also hold this entire joint tightly without slipping off this key from the entire joint. So that is the main purpose of using of this Gibb head key. Okay, so here we have finished that discussion of this different types of sunk keys. The next one is saddle key. Saddle keys. In this case of saddle keys, we have two types of keys. Those two are, the first one is flat saddle key, and the second one is hollow saddle key. Main difference between this saddle key and the previous sunk keys is, in case of sunk keys, there is a provision that to keep the half of the portion of the key into the solid shaft and the remaining will be in the hub. But here in case of saddle keys, the key will be partially inserted into the solid shaft. Okay, but the remaining portion of entire thing is inserted into the hub. Now here I will show that the difference between this flat and hollow saddle key. First we will see that the flat saddle key. So to keep the flat saddle key on this surface of the solid shaft, here we will make the surface flat on the surface of this solid shaft. We will make surface flat like this, and after that we can keep the key like this. Okay, so this is the key that is partially inserted in the surface of the solid shaft. Okay, then now in case of a hollow saddle key, this is the key to be placed on the surface of the solid shaft. But see that here there is no any geometrical shape is changed on the surface of the solid shaft. Okay, but here the modification will be done on the bottom surface of the key only. Okay, so see that here I will show that in the 3D diagram. This is the key. See that this is the key. You please observe that the bottom surface of the key, this bottom surface of the key will be made as the same that of the profile it is having that the outer surface of the solid shaft. These keys will not be preferred for the transmit in the heavy power, due to that is having that the slight or partially inserting of the key into the solid shaft, so that it will gives very less strength. Okay, so now we will move to that another kind of key. In this case of saddle keys, the dimensions are width W equal to D by 4 and thickness small t equal to 1/3 of width. So that here by substituting here the W value here 1/3 into D by 4, so that here it will be D by 12. The thickness will be D by 12 and the width is as the same that the width is same as that of D by 4, as we have seen that in the rectangular key. Okay, so these are the two different dimensions for the saddle keys. And the next one is tangent key. Okay, so in this case of tangent key, a pair of keys are used, which are arranged in the manner of right angle. See that here it is one key. See that here this is one key and we have another key here. These two keys are arranged in a right angle. Right angle means here these two keys having 90 degrees angle. So this way the two keys will be inserted in the solid shaft. These keys will give the high strength in case of high torque transmitted through the shafts. Okay, these are preferable for the very high torque transmitted through the shafts. Okay, so the meaning of this tangent key is these two kind of pair of keys are used in this case of assembly. These two keys also arranged in the manner of right angle to each other. Okay, that means 90 degrees. Okay, the dimensions of this key are the same as that of rectangular key. In the rectangular key we have that W equal to D by 4 and thickness equal to small t equal to D by 6. And next one is round key. As the name itself, here it is having that a round key. Okay, so here the cross section will be in the circular manner. Okay, so for example here I will show that this is the hub and this is the solid shaft, and here see that here this one is the hub and this one is the solid shaft. This one is solid shaft. This one is the key, which is in the shape of circular in cross section. Okay, so here this round key may be preferred for the light duty power transmission shafts only. Okay, and next one is splines. Splines. Up to now we have seen that many kind of keys. There we have used only a single key only. Okay, so whenever we have to use that many number of keys are integral with the solid shaft, that kind of assembly can be called as spline shaft. Okay, so here I will show that. Here one hollow shaft like this, one hollow shaft like this, and here we have one more solid shaft. In the previous case, here we made a rectangular slot, and on the surface of this solid shaft also we have made one rectangular slot. Okay, into that rectangular slot we have inserted one rectangular key. But here instead of keeping one rectangular key into the rectangular slot here, just here we have to change the profile of this solid shaft like this. See that here the more number of keys are integral with the solid shaft here. You can observe that in the previous case on the solid shaft we have made a rectangular slot and we have inserted the rectangular key in the rectangular slot. But see that here we have used that 4 keys here on the shaft surface. We have made this surface like this, and then now to match this shape of this shaft, to fit this one into this hollow tube, we have to make the internal geometry also as the same, that as having that this outer shape. Okay, now see that here we have to make that the rectangular slots at the inside of the hub like this to match the exact outer surface of this solid shaft. Now see that when we insert this one into this hollow tube, okay, by matching this geometry with this outer surface of this solid shaft, the joint will be made between this solid shaft with the hollow shaft. Okay, so that we can transmit the power. This shaft is inserted into this hollow tube. Okay, so these 4 keys will be matched with this rectangular slots, so that the joint will be made between this solid shaft and with the hollow shaft. Okay, and now the dimensions of this splined shaft is dimension this one is the solid shaft and this one is the hub. Now the dimensions are this one is a capital D, and this one is small d, and this is small b. So up to now we have discussed about the various types of keys. Now the next one is design of the key. Okay, so we will see the design of the key here. Design of the key. So the design of the key means determining the dimensions, determining the dimensions of the key, determining the dimensions of the key. So the dimensions of this key are this is the length, this is the length of the key, and this one is width of the key, and this one is thickness of the keys. Okay, so here in this case we have a direct formulas for the finding out the width equal to d by 4 and thickness equal to d by 6 for the rectangular key. In case of a saddle key only, the thickness will be d by 12 and the width equal to same as that of d by 4. Okay, so these are the various dimensions of this rectangular key and saddle key. Okay, so mostly in all the applications we will prefer this rectangular key only. Okay. So in case of designing of the key, we can find that these two dimensions, width and thickness of the key, when we know the value of diameter. Okay, and then the remaining is length. Length of the key, right? So in order to find out the length of the key, we have to take some design criteria. In order to find out the length of the key here, we will see that how the key may fail in different ways, and we can estimate the relation. So based upon those relations, we can find the length of the key here. Okay. Now the various types of failures of the key. Generally the key may fail in two ways. Due to shear and due to the crushing. Okay, so according to these two criteria, we can see that the failure of the key, and we can estimate the formula. See that here. This is a key, and here I am taking one more key here. In the case of shear, the key may fail at this section. I will show separately here. The key may fail like this. The key may shear off at the exactly center. This is the portion where at which the failure takes place. So that here the dimensions are, this one is width and this length equal to L. Okay, so that the cross section area formula is W into L here. Okay, whereas in case of crushing, the crushing will be at the side surface of the key, and that too in half portion only. Okay, so here this dimensions are this entire thickness equal to T, and this half portion is equal to T by 2, and this length equal to small l. Okay, when there is a twisting moment in the shafts, there will be a contact surface between the key material and hub material. Okay, and also there is a surface contact with the shaft material also, with the key material. Okay, that will be half in portion only, so that we will consider only half portion only. Okay, so I will show here the clear diagram. This is the solid shaft. Okay, so here exactly at this portion there may be a contact surface between this material of the shaft and the material of the key, exactly in the half portion in the key only. Okay, so that is why here we are taking that this half portion only. Okay, and in case of this shear failure, when we have a solid shaft like this, when we have a hub like this, okay, this bottom portion will be remains in the solid shaft, and the top portion of this key will be in the hub portion, so that this way the shearing will takes place in the case of this is shear failure. Okay, so that is why here we are taking that this rectangular cross section where at which the failure taken place, and here in case of a crushing effect also, here we will take that half portion only, right? So for this one, the area is, the cross section area is what is this area? This is also in the rectangular manner. This is equal to T by 2, and this one is L, so that the cross section area is T by 2 into L. Okay, and in this case we have a rectangle section like this. This dimension equal to width, and this dimension equal to length, so that the cross section area is W into L. Okay, so from these two relations we can formulate the equation. So here we have two relations according to the shear and according to the crushing. So here the formula for this shear failure, that is W into L, and here the cross section area formula is T by 2 into L. So here we have taken the two cross section areas according to the two kind of failures. First one is a shear failure and the second one is crushing failure. Okay, so here I can take that relation. Shear failure means I will write the tau equal to the force divided by cross section area. So in place of cross section area I will write this relation. Okay, F divided by W into L. Okay, so from this relation I can write the F equal to W into L into tau. Okay, and similarly in this case of crushing effect also, here there is a crushing, right? So that here I will take sigma c equal to force per unit area. So sigma c equal to F by A, force per unit area. So in place of area I will substitute this one, F divided by T by 2 into L. So from this relation I can write this equation, F equal to T by 2 into L into sigma c. Okay, so these are the two forces are acting on the shaft based upon the shear criteria, and another one is crushing criteria. Okay, and here I can write the equation that the twisting moment happened in the shaft due to the force that is acting F here. So here I will draw one diagram here. This is a solid shaft. This is a solid shaft. There will be a tangential force acting on the surface of the shaft. Okay, and the perpendicular distance is d by 2. Okay, d by 2 or small r. Okay. Now here the twisting moment formula can be written as the force into perpendicular distance is d by 2. Okay. So in this case, here there is a F. Here there is a F. By substituting this F here from this shear relation, and we have another relation for the F here according to the crushing criteria, we will get the two separate relations. Okay, so now we will see that this T equal to F. In place of F, we have to substitute this one, W into L into tau into d by 2, and here in the same relation we have F. In place of F, we have to substitute this relation here. Okay, then T equal to, in place of F, we have to take this relation, that is T by 2 into L into sigma C into d by 2. Okay, so these are the two relations we have according to the shear criteria and the crushing criteria. Okay, so now we will see that here the relation between sigma C and tau. Okay, by equating these two relations, we will see that the relation between these two sigma C and tau here. Okay, so let us see that relation between those two sigma C and tau. So by equating these two things, let us see W into L into tau into d by 2 is equal to T by 2 into L into sigma C into d by 2. Okay, so d by 2 cancel and L cancel. Okay, then the relation becomes this can be written as W by T is equal to sigma C divided by 2 into tau. Okay, so in case of this key is square in section. The cross section of the key is square section, so that the width always equal to the thickness. Okay, so that the ratio of this width to the thickness will be the 1, and this relation becomes 1 equal to sigma C divided by 2 tau. Okay, so from this relation we can write this equation like this: 2 tau is equal to sigma C. Okay, so in case of designing of the keys, especially in case of a square key, the values of this sigma C and tau will be the compressive stress of the material of the key is 2 times the shear stress. Okay, it is very important point. Always the compressive stress is 2 times the shear stress. Okay, so here we have equated those two terms and we found the relation between this sigma C and tau here. Okay, then now in order to find out the length, of the key here, as we know that the relation, that is T equal to W into L into d by 2, based upon the shear failure, and we can write the torque formula, that is pi by 16 d cubed into tau. Okay, sorry, here there is a tau here. Okay, by equating these two relations, we will get the length. See that here, W into L into d by 2 into tau, and pi by 16 d cubed into tau. Okay, here in this relation we have tau and tau. When there is shear stress value is common for the both the materials of shaft and key, this tau will be cancelled, and here in place of W we can substitute d by 4, as we know that the W equal to d by 4. Okay, just you can substitute here in place of W d by 4. Okay, so that here this relation becomes, here we have d and d into d square, so that this cubed will be cancelled, 1d, here there will be only 1d, and here 4 into 2 is the 8 2 ja 16, so that the relation is L is equal to pi by 2 into d. Okay, L equal to pi by 2 into d. Right, now see that the relation, what is the value of pi by 2? Pi divided by 2. Pi divided by 2 is equal to 1.57 times of diameter. So here we can take this relation in order to find out the length of the key. When we know the diameter of the shaft, we can find the length of the key. Okay, so this way we can find the dimensions, as we know that the width of the key is W by 4, and thickness equal to d by 6, and this length equal to 1.57 into d. So these are the various dimensions we have for the key. Okay, so the designing of the key means that the determining of the these dimensions, W, small t and small l. So here we will solve one problem on the same concept of, that is design of the key. Now here this is the problem. You can see that design a rectangular key for a shaft of diameter 50 mm, and the shear stress and crushing stress values are given in this problem. So let us write a given data in the problem. Given data. So the given data are, the first one is diameter of the shaft. Diameter of the shaft is small d is equal to 50 mm, and the shear stress is, the shear stress tau equal to 42 megapascals. So these to be converted into the Newton per square millimeters. So 1 megapascal equal to 1 Newton per square millimeter, so that we will get the same value here. And the next value is crushing stress. Crushing stress or compressive stress, sigma c equal to 70 megapascals. That is also to be converted into the Newton per square millimeters, 70 Newton per square millimeters. Okay, so here our intention is to design the rectangular key. Okay, as we know that the rectangular key dimensions, the dimensions of rectangular key, width, thickness and length. So these are the various dimensions we have for the rectangular key. So as we know that already, to find out the width and thickness we have a proportions. So let us write here the width of the key is equal to small w, that small w equal to d by 4. Okay, then what is the value of d? D value equal to 50, d value equal to 50 divided by 4 is 12.5 mm. Okay, and the next value is, next dimension is thickness. Thickness of the key is equal to small t. We know the proportion that for the finding out the thickness equal to d by 6. Okay, so now find that value of find the value of this thickness, that is 50 divided by 6. Okay, so 50 divided by 6, that value is 8.3 mm. So here from the formulas we have already, that is w equal to d by 4, we can find the value of width of the key, that is 12.5 mm, and here the thickness value is 8.3. Okay, then the remaining is length. Okay, so in order to find out the length here, so here the remaining one is length. In order to find out the length here, we will take the relations of two things, that is from design criteria of two. One is shear criteria and another one is crushing criteria. So by having those two relations, we will get the two lengths, so that from the both the one is length of the key, that is small l. Okay, as we know that the relation, that is torque transmitted by the shaft equal to pi by 16 d cubed into tau. We have twisting moment relations from the two design criteria. First one is according to the shear failure, we have a torque formula, twisting moment formula, that is w into l into d by 2 into tau, and another relation is according to the crushing, we have the relation, that is t by 2 into l into sigma c into d by 2. Okay, so here when we equate these two relations, we will get one length. Okay, and when we equate these two relations, we will get one more length. Okay, so from these two relations, we will get two different lengths. So from these two relations, we will pick the larger value. Okay, that will be the length of the key. Okay, so now we will do that one. T equal to pi by 16 into d cube into tau. So from this relation we can find this t value. So see that here pi by 16 into d is the 50, d cube 50 cube into tau value is 42. So find this value. Find this value. Pi by 16 into 50 cube into 42. So now the value is 1030.835.089 Newton mm. Okay, and this value to be equated with this both the relations. The relations are 1030.835.089 is equal to small w into L into d by 2 into tau. Okay, as we know the value of w and d value and tau value also, so that we will find the L value. Okay, so what is the value of w? W value is 12.5. Okay, and we don't know the length of the key, that is L, and d by 2 is 50 by 2 and tau value is 42. Okay, so find this value here in the form of length. Okay, it can write like this: 1030.835.089. So find this value. 50 by 2 means 25 into 42 into 12.5. So this value is 13125. So the L value is 1030.835.089 divided by 13125. Okay, so now let us find this value: 1030.835.089 divided by 13125. So now length value is, length of the key is 78.53 mm. Okay, so according to the shear criteria, okay, and according to the crushing criteria, we have to equate this value with the T value, which was already we have written that from the crushing criteria. Okay, so let us have this same value here: 1030.835.089 is equal to, the formula for the T is small t divided by 2 into L into d by 2 into sigma c. Okay, so based upon crushing criteria. So here we know the value of T. What is the value of T? We have already found that is 8.3 divided by 2, and L is the unknown parameter, and D is 50 divided by 2, and sigma c value is 70. So that find this value in the form of L, and then here you can write the same value here: 1030.835.089. Okay, find this value here. 8.3 divided by 2 into 50 divided by 2 means 25 into 70. So this value is 7262.5. So this can be written as L equal to 1030.835.089 divided by 7262.5. Okay, so let us find the value of that one: 1030.835.89 divided by 7262.5. So the value of L equal to 141.93 mm. So from this both the values, which one is the larger one? This one is the larger one. So that we will consider this is the length of the key. Okay, so this way we have to find that the various dimensions of the key. Okay, width, thickness and length. Okay, thank you so much.